You know what scares me most as a brain doctor? It's not just the complicated surgeries or the difficult cases I see every week. It's the small, everyday habits that people think are harmless, but in reality, they're quietly setting them up for disaster. I'm talking about strokes, one of the deadliest conditions in America today. Every 40 seconds, someone in this country has a stroke. Every 3 minutes and 14 seconds, someone dies from it. And yet, so many of these strokes could have been prevented, not with expensive treatments or fancy pills, but by understanding the hidden dangers in daily routines. Today, I want to share with you something that shocked even me when I dug into the research, a common shower habit that raises your risk of stroke literally overnight. When I first came across the studies, I had to read them twice. I've treated patients for years, and I've seen strokes come out of nowhere. I've seen strong, proud veterans who thought they were perfectly healthy, only to collapse the next morning. I've seen mothers and fathers lose their speech, their memory, or their independence in the blink of an eye. But when I realized that something as ordinary as how you take your shower could be a trigger, I knew I had to sound the alarm. Because here's the truth: most Americans don't think twice about the water temperature, the timing, or the way they step into that shower. They turn the knob, step in, and let the hot water rush over them, believing it's helping them relax or wash away stress. But for millions, that very habit could be pushing their brain and blood vessels to the breaking point. Let me explain how. When you step into a very hot shower, especially at night, your blood vessels suddenly expand. That rapid dilation can cause your blood pressure to swing wildly. For younger, healthier people, the body may be able to handle those changes. But for anyone over 50, for anyone with high blood pressure, diabetes, clogged arteries, or even just stress, these swings can be dangerous. The sudden shift in blood flow puts strain on the delicate blood vessels in the brain. It increases the risk of clots, it weakens vessel walls, and in some cases it can lead to what doctors call a hemorrhagic stroke, where a blood vessel bursts. And here's the kicker. This risk is especially high at night because your body's natural rhythms are already slowing down. Your blood pressure naturally dips when you're preparing to sleep. Then suddenly, you shock your system with a steamy hot shower, and your heart has to race to keep up. It's like flooring the gas pedal when your car is idling in neutral. The system isn't prepared and something can snap. I remember a patient of mine, a 62-year-old truck driver. Strong guy, lived on the road, worked hard his whole life. One night, after a long shift, he told his wife he was going to take a hot shower before bed. He never made it back out of the bathroom on his own. By the time she found him, he had collapsed. He survived, thank God, but the stroke left him with weakness on his left side and trouble speaking. When I pieced together the events, it was clear the hot shower, combined with years of silent high blood pressure, had triggered the event. And unfortunately, he's not alone. Cases like this happen every single day across America, and most people don't connect the dots. Now, you might be thinking, Doctor, are you saying we can't take showers anymore? Of course not. Hygiene is important, and showers are part of our daily lives. But what I am saying is that the way you take your shower matters more than you realize. Small changes can dramatically lower your risk. Things like avoiding extremely hot water, especially late at night. Things like easing into the water instead of shocking your body. Things like keeping showers shorter and not treating them like a sauna session. These adjustments may sound minor, but for your brain and your arteries, they could mean the difference between waking up tomorrow healthy or not waking up at all. And let me tell you something else that will surprise you. It's not just hot showers that can be risky. Ice cold showers, the kind that are trending on social media as a health hack, can also be dangerous for the wrong person. Jumping into freezing water can cause blood vessels to constrict instantly, spiking blood pressure and stressing the heart. For younger, fit individuals, the body can sometimes adapt. But for millions of older Americans, or anyone with hidden cardiovascular issues, this sudden shock can be catastrophic. I know cold plunges are popular among athletes and influencers, but I've personally treated patients who ended up in the ER after following those trends. The human brain is delicate. It doesn't take kindly to sudden extremes. The key here is balance. Your shower should refresh you, not overwhelm your system. Lukewarm water, gradual changes in temperature, and avoiding extreme heat or cold right before bed are all safer practices. Think about it this way. Your body is like a finely tuned machine. If you slam the accelerator or stomp the brakes too hard, things break. But if you ease into gear, everything runs smoothly. That's how your blood vessels work, and that's how you need to treat them. As a doctor, I've dedicated my life to studying the brain, and what I've learned is this: the brain thrives on stability. It loves consistency. It wants steady blood flow, steady oxygen, steady nutrients. Anything that creates wild swings, whether it's uncontrolled blood pressure, erratic blood sugar, or yes, sudden changes from showering, creates vulnerability. Over time, those vulnerabilities add up. They make you a ticking time bomb for stroke. And because strokes can happen overnight, without warning, this is not something to ignore. So why am I telling you this today? Because knowledge is power. Most Americans don't know this, and the supplement companies, the trendy fitness influencers, they're not going to tell you. They want to sell you something. I want to protect you. I want you to be able to enjoy your retirement, play with your grandkids, travel with your spouse, and live with dignity and independence. But that won't happen if you're blindsided by a preventable stroke. The good news is that prevention doesn't require complicated steps. It requires awareness and small daily habits that protect your brain, and changing how you shower is one of them. Now, I know some people will still doubt. They'll say, "Doctor, I've taken hot showers at night for 30 years and I'm fine." And maybe that's true for now. But stroke risk builds silently. Arteries harden slowly. Plaque builds gradually. Pressure mounts over years. The fact that nothing has happened yet doesn't mean it won't. I've seen countless patients who thought they were untouchable, until one day their luck ran out. Don't wait for that day. Don't gamble with your health. Make the change now while you still have the choice. When I talk to patients and families about stroke risk, I can almost see the fear in their eyes. It's not just the idea of dying that scares people. It's the thought of surviving a stroke but losing their independence. Imagine not being able to drive, not being able to feed yourself, not being able to hold a conversation with your spouse or your children. That's the cruel part of strokes. They don't just take years off your life, they can take the joy out of the years you still have left. And what makes it worse is that so many of these cases are linked to habits that people never thought twice about. This is why I want to go even deeper with you, because avoiding the wrong shower habit is just one piece of the puzzle. If you really want to protect your brain, you need to understand how your daily routines, your environment, and your body's natural rhythms all interact. Let's start with something I've seen countless times in my career Americans love long. Steaming hot showers at night. They see it as the perfect way to relax after a long day. It's cultural, even nostalgic. Many people remember their parents or grandparents doing the same thing. But here's what nobody told them: nighttime is the worst time to do it. Your body is preparing to rest. Your blood pressure naturally dips in the evening. Your parasympathetic nervous system is getting ready to calm you down. Your heart is slowing. Then suddenly you crank up the hot water, and boom, your cardiovascular system is jolted like an engine revving from 0 to 100. That sudden demand on your arteries doesn't just increase stroke risk, it also disturbs your sleep. Because your body temperature rises, your nervous system is activated, and instead of falling into a deep, restorative sleep, you toss and turn. And guess what? Poor sleep itself is a stroke risk factor. Night after night, it compounds. I once treated a man in his late 50s, a school principal. His wife told me he had a ritual every night. After grading papers, he would take a hot shower and then go straight to bed. One night, she heard a loud thud. He had collapsed in the bathroom. He survived, but with memory loss so severe he couldn't continue his work. When I asked about his habits, it clicked. The late night hot showers, the silent high blood pressure he never treated, the sleep disturbances. All of it had added up until one night it broke him. His wife said to me, "Doctor, if we had only known, we would have changed everything." That's why I'm telling you, so you can know before it's too late. Now, let's flip the script. What's safer? If you want to take a warm shower, do it earlier in the day, morning or afternoon. Your body handles temperature shifts better when it's awake, alert, and your blood pressure is naturally higher. In fact, a warm shower in the morning can actually help regulate circulation and wake you up. Just keep it moderate, not scalding. And don't stay in for half an hour. 10 minutes is plenty. By controlling the time of day, the duration, and the temperature, you take a huge step in protecting your arteries and brain. But the shower itself isn't the only issue. There's something else I need you to think about: what happens immediately after. Picture this. You're standing in a hot, steamy bathroom. Your blood vessels have expanded, your body is warm, maybe even lightheaded. Then you step out into a cool bedroom, or worse, you walk barefoot on a cold floor. That sudden contrast can cause blood pressure spikes or drops that your brain doesn't handle well. For some people, especially older Americans, it can cause dizziness, fainting, or yes, even trigger a stroke. I've had patients tell me they thought they just slipped after stepping out of the shower. In reality, they fainted because their blood pressure couldn't stabilize fast enough. That's why safety after a shower is just as important as the shower itself. Always dry off slowly, keep the bathroom ventilated but not freezing, and avoid sudden temperature shifts. It sounds so basic, but these are the things that save lives. I also want to talk about a modern problem: social media health hacks. Every day, millions of Americans scroll through TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube and see influencers promoting shock showers, cold plunges, or contrast bathing as miracle cures for energy, mood, or fat loss. Now, let me be clear, for some young, healthy individuals, these practices can have benefits. But for someone in their 60s, 70s, or even 40s with high blood pressure or heart disease, this is a recipe for disaster. I once had a 45-year-old patient who tried a cold plunge challenge he saw online. He jumped into freezing water, thinking it would boost his brain. What it boosted instead was his blood pressure, so high he had a stroke within minutes. He walked into the ER shivering, unable to speak. Social media doesn't tell you that part. So my advice is simple: don't follow trends blindly. Your body is not an experiment. You don't need extreme hacks. You need steady, safe habits that keep your brain healthy for the long run. That's what really works. A moderate shower, consistent routines, balanced temperatures. That's what your arteries crave. And if you want the relaxation benefits, there are better ways to get them. A short walk after dinner, a little stretching, some deep breathing before bed. Those lower stress without shocking your cardiovascular system. Something else that often gets overlooked is hydration. Americans drink coffee, soda, alcohol, but not nearly enough water. And guess what? Dehydration makes your blood thicker. Thicker blood is harder for your heart to pump, increases pressure, and raises the risk of clotting. Combine that with a hot shower at night, which dilates your vessels and further stresses circulation, and you've created the perfect storm. I can't tell you how many times I've seen patients come into the ER dehydrated, with strokes that could have been prevented by something as simple as drinking more water. So here's a tip: drink a glass of water before your shower. Keep your body hydrated so your circulation stays smooth. It's a small step, but small steps add up. Now I want you to think about your own routine. When do you usually shower? How hot is the water? How long do you stay in? Do you step out into a cold room, or do you keep things steady? These questions matter because every detail is part of the bigger picture. Every detail either increases or decreases your stroke risk. And while it may seem overwhelming, here's the truth: you have control. You can change this tonight. You don't need permission. You don't need money. You don't need special equipment. You just need awareness and action. I know some people will hear this and shrug it off. It won't happen to me, they'll say. But that's what nearly every stroke patient I've ever met thought, too. Until it did. The question isn't whether you feel fine now. The question is whether you're stacking the odds against yourself. Strokes are silent until they're not. Prevention is the only real weapon we have, and prevention starts with habits. That's why I get so passionate about this. Because I don't want you to just survive your 50s, 60s, and 70s. I want you to thrive. I want you to be the grandparent who can still play catch, the spouse who can still travel, the neighbor who can still volunteer and contribute to the community. That's the American spirit. Independence, resilience, strength. And it's all within reach if you take care of your brain. So let me be blunt. If you're still taking hot showers right before bed, stop tonight. If you're experimenting with extreme cold plunges because you saw it online, think twice. If you're not paying attention to hydration or the environment you step into after a shower, start today. These are not small tweaks. They are brain-saving changes. And the beauty is, they cost you nothing. Just awareness, just choice. When I sit down with stroke survivors and their families, the conversations are often heavy. People cry. They ask me, why us? Or, What could we have done differently? And time again, the answer comes back to daily choices. Small, ordinary things that felt harmless at the time but carried consequences. The shower habit is one of them, but the bigger picture is even more important. Because your brain health is not just about avoiding one mistake, it's about building a lifestyle that protects you every single day. And that's where I want to take you now, into the mindset, routines, and small, practical steps that make the difference between fear and freedom as you age. Let's start with this truth: your brain is not a machine that runs on autopilot forever. It's alive. It adapts, it changes, it strengthens or weakens depending on what you do. That's why we see such a wide range of outcomes in older Americans. Some people in their 70s are sharp, vibrant, independent. Others are struggling with memory loss, mobility issues, or repeated hospital visits. The difference is rarely luck, it's choices. And that means the power is in your hands. Now, I want you to imagine your brain like a high-performance car. You wouldn't fill a luxury car with the cheapest fuel, skip oil changes, and then be surprised when it breaks down. But that's exactly what many people do to their bodies. They eat ultra-processed foods, drink more alcohol than water, ignore exercise, push through stress, and then wonder why their brain health suffers. If you want to avoid a stroke, if you want to live longer and sharper, you have to treat your brain like the priceless engine it is. That means fueling it, resting it, and protecting it from unnecessary strain. One of the most overlooked protectors of brain health is consistency. Your brain thrives on rhythm. Going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, eating balanced meals regularly. These keep your blood pressure, blood sugar, and nervous system stable. But when you're erratic, when you stay up until 2 a.m. scrolling on your phone, when you skip meals and then binge, when you shower hot at midnight and then sleep poorly, you're throwing your brain into chaos. And chaos is where disease breeds. The Americans who live longest and healthiest are not the ones who chase fads. They're the ones who find a steady rhythm and stick to it. Another key piece is stress. Let me tell you something most people don't realize: as stress can trigger strokes. Not just long-term stress, but acute, sudden stress. Your body floods with cortisol, your heart rate spikes, your blood pressure rises, your blood vessels tighten. It's a perfect storm for a clot or bleed. Now, combine that with habits like extreme showers or dehydration, and you've magnified the danger. I treated a woman in her 60s who had been dealing with financial stress, barely sleeping, and trying every internet hack she could find to relax. She started ending her nights with scalding showers. One evening, after a particularly stressful phone call, she collapsed. It wasn't the phone call alone. It wasn't the shower alone. It was the combination. Stroke is often like that. It's not one cause, it's the stacking of risks until the system breaks. So what do you do instead? You find healthier stress outlets. Walks, journaling, prayer, community, laughter. These are not cliches, they are medicine. The brain is wired for connection and calm. When you give it that, it heals. When you deprive it, it cracks. That's why in America, where so many people are isolated and glued to screens, we're seeing strokes and dementia rise earlier and earlier. We have to get back to the basics. Not just what we eat and how we move, but how we live together. And here's something else I need you to remember: your brain doesn't heal from a stroke the way a muscle heals from a cut. Once those neurons are gone, they're gone. Yes, rehabilitation can help you adapt, and the brain is remarkable at rewiring. But prevention is the only true cure. Every day you go without a stroke is a victory. Every day you lower your risk with good habits, you're protecting not just your years, but your independence and dignity. Now, let me tell you what I recommend to my own family, because I'm not just speaking as a doctor, I'm speaking as a son, as a parent, as someone who wants my loved ones to live full lives. Number 1, hydrate. It sounds too simple, but it's not. Your brain is 75% water. Even mild dehydration thickens your blood and stresses your vessels. My rule is 1 glass of water with every meal and 1 glass before bed, unless your doctor has restricted fluids. That alone can change your risk profile. Number 2, move daily. I don't mean you have to run marathons. I mean get up and walk, stretch, do yard work. Americans used to move all the time because life required it. Now we sit, and sitting is poison to circulation. Movement keeps blood flowing, arteries flexible, and the brain oxygenated. A 30-minute walk each day is one of the best anti-stroke medications in the world, and it's free. Number 3, watch your showers. You know this now. No scalding hot water late at night. No freezing plunges if you're older or hypertensive. Aim for moderate, aim for safe, aim for consistency. Treat your bathroom like part of your health plan, not just a place to clean. Number 4, manage stress actively. Don't just hope it goes away. Build routines that lower it. Deep breathing before bed. Quiet time away from screens. Gratitude lists. Whatever works for you, but make it deliberate. Stress ignored is stress multiplied. Number 5, see your doctor. Don't skip checkups. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. These are silent killers. You may feel fine and still be a ticking time bomb. Americans often avoid the doctor until it's too late. Don't be that person. Prevention works only if you know what you're preventing. Now, I know some people listening will say, "Doctor, I've already messed up. I've been taking hot showers at night for years. I've been stressed, dehydrated, skipping exercise. Is it too late for me?" And my answer is no. It's never too late to start protecting your brain. The human body has an incredible ability to heal, adapt, and strengthen. I've seen patients in their 70s and 80s turn their lives around with simple changes. They cut out late, night hot showers, started walking, drank more water, and within months, their blood pressure stabilized, their energy improved, their sleep deepened. Change works if you work it. But here's the key. You can't just hear this and nod. You have to act. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Change starts today. Tonight, when you go to take that shower, think about what you've learned. Choose a safer temperature. Choose a safer time. Choose to step into a warm, stable environment afterward. And when you wake up tomorrow, drink water, move your body, and keep your stress in check. These aren't luxuries. These are lifesavers. I want to leave you with one last story. A man in his 70s once came to me after watching a health video online. He told me, "Doctor, I realized I was doing everything wrong. I was ready to change." He started small. He adjusted his shower routine, began drinking water with meals, walked his dog every evening. 3 years later, he came back for a checkup, smiling sharp as ever. He said, "You saved my life, not because of medicine, but because of awareness." And he was right. Awareness is the medicine you don't need a prescription for. So let me be clear, your brain is worth protecting. Your future is worth protecting. Don't let one bad habit steal decades from you. Don't let ignorance rob you of independence. You have the knowledge now. You have the tools. All that's left is your choice. And if this message spoke to you, if it made you think twice about your routines, then I want you to do something important. Come back. Join me again. Keep watching, keep learning, keep protecting your brain. Because this channel isn't just about information. It's about transformation. And every time you tune in, you're taking another step toward a longer, sharper, healthier life. Don't miss what's coming next. Your brain deserves it, and so do you.